growing reputation of Nevada's Area 51 military base has made our state a magnet for UFO enthusiasts. Thousands of people travel here each year to look for weird objects in the desert skies.
But the history of the UFO phenomena in Nevada extends far beyond Area 51. A new book is out which details hundreds of strange encounters with unknown objects and a creature or two. George Knapp is here with our story.
Well, UFOs over Nevada is the title of the book, and it will come as no surprise whatsoever that folks at the Burning Man festivities have reported seeing crazy things in the sky, or that unusual humanoids have been spotted walking around Las Vegas casinos. But dozens of the incidents listed in this book are not so easily explained. They've been reporting dated back more than a century by credible witnesses from all walks of life.
The X-15 engine has started, and the aircraft accelerates rapidly, quickly leaving the B-52 far behind.
In the early 60s, the X-15 rocket plane flew higher and faster than anything on Earth, or so we thought. During two separate test flights over Nevada's Mud Lake, X-15 pilots encountered something that flew higher and faster.
A different pilot saw 6 objects, described again as kind of a white, silver, and took formation around his plane, way up there. So these are clearly not ours if they're doing things that we can't do. This was a high-altitude test flight, higher than we've ever gone.
One of the pilots stated he knows there are things out there. Film of the objects was recorded but never made public. It was ice crystals, the government said years later. The X-15 incidents are among the hundreds of strange encounters detailed in Preston Dennett's new book, UFOs over Nevada.
There are so many cases. I'm guessing 1 in 100 people report their sighting officially.
Our interview took place in front of the aptly named Giant Rock in the California desert. It's been scarred by fires and graffiti, but was once the site of mass gatherings that made it the center of the UFO universe. 1947 is when the first big wave of flying saucers was reported. Dennett says Nevada cases preceded the national UFO hubbub. Weeks before the infamous Roswell incident in New Mexico, 2 military pilots flying over Lake Mead spotted a weird formation of 3 odd craft.
And as they observed it, they saw that these were not planes at all. They were delta wing-shaped craft, no other markings on it, moving really fast, and they ended up reporting this officially.
That case remains unidentified, although in later years the Air Force did its best to explain away as many UFO reports as it could. These shape-shifting objects were recorded over Las Vegas a few years ago. The book lists dozens of more distinct shapes seen over Nevada military facilities, including Nellis Air Force Base, Fallon Naval Air Station, Area 51, of course, and the Nevada test site during the height of the nuclear testing program, although officials have always denied ever getting reports of UFOs over those airspaces. One of the best cases in the book is a report from a military officer whose car died on the outskirts of Tonopah. The officer spotted 4 flying saucer-shaped craft sitting beside Highway 95. When he walked toward them to get a closer look,
suddenly the buzzing sound increases in pitch, and all of these objects take off at once and dart away. He's amazed, rushes back to his car, which now starts fine, and reports his sighting to officials.
Instead of investigating the incident, Project Blue Book assigned a psychologist to evaluate the witness, who is said to have suffered from highway hypnosis. The most spectacular case in the book is from April 1962.
Because it's a fantastic case involving not a few hundred witnesses, thousands of witnesses saw this thing as it traveled across the United States.
A fireball came in over Cuba, traveled up the East Coast, and while over New York, made a 45-degree turn to the left, zipped across the U.S. at differing speeds, landed in Utah, where it knocked out electrical power, then took off again before exploding over Clark County.
And that's what the Air Force labeled it. First they called it a meteor, and then they changed their story and called it a balloon.
The book contains dozens of sightings over the Las Vegas Strip, some of which were photographed, and a smattering of reports from celebrities. Rock drummer Ronnie Vannucci of The Killers saw a red UFO over Highway 95. Late-night radio host Art Bell and his wife saw a gigantic UFO not far from their home in Nye County. Actor and country singer Johnny Sands in 1973 encountered 2 of the strangest aliens ever reported while driving near Blue Diamond Road. Nevada's UFO godfather, former CIA pilot John Lear, was told by his wife Mara Lee to give up his passion for flying saucers, that is, until she saw her own. Filmmaker Jeremy Corbell has been working on a series about Lear and tells about Mrs. Lear's UFO sighting.
Then one day she gets called out by her daughter into the backyard right at Sunrise Mountain in Nevada, and she sees for herself with her own eyes 2 circular flying saucers. They were like cans of tuna, like tuna fish cans, which is not aerodynamic.
When it comes to UFOs, Dennett says seeing is believing.
It really hits people at the core of their being, and saying UFOs are real kind of changes your whole worldview.
You know, we can all speculate what these things are or where they're from, but no one knows for sure, or if they do, they haven't told the rest of us. 90 to 95% of all UFO incidents are probably explainable, that is, misidentifications of known phenomenon. It's that other 5% or so that fuel our imagination. It's also true at least 90% of UFO sightings made by the public are never reported at all, and the stranger the incident, the less likely a person is to tell anyone else about
Sure,
it.
they don't want to be thought of as crazy.
Yeah, and of course we got lots of links and other material on our website.
Great. Thanks, George.
Thank you, George.